Welcome to the Golden Playbook. Today we are going to be taking our talents over to the DraftKings Best Ball streets. If you've been watching my previous videos, we have been absolutely dominating on the Underdog platform. We have maxed out the little board already, so we are going to head over to the DraftKings world to compare the ADPs, see what's a little bit different about the DraftKings rankings. Usually the competition is a little less stiff on DraftKings. You can find a little bit of unorthodox drafting, if you will. The main formatting differences: DraftKings is full PPR as opposed to Underdog's half PPR. Lineup construction's the same, but mostly the PPR format is the main difference. 20 rounds, 30-second clock instead of the 20-second clock. So the drafts take a little bit longer, especially if people are taking the full clock. But we have 9 of 12 entered so far, waiting on 3 more. We'll get back to you when this bad boy fills. All right, and this bad boy finally loaded up. And believe it or not, I got the 101. So we will be starting off with a Bijan Robinson team. We will be at the turn. So I am excited to see, with the PPR difference, if wide receivers are going any earlier. As we've kind of seen, running back has been the move so far in 2026. A lot of running back heavy starts. So we'll see if that is the same over on DraftKings, or since it's PPR, maybe people are going a little bit more wide receiver heavy. But we have a couple minutes till this bad boy starts, and we got the 101. All right, and we are going to grab Bijan Robinson here. And looks like there's a clock malfunction. It has a 2-minute timer on this. So I don't know if that is for real or not. If it's actually a 2-minute timer, this is going to take forever. But looking through some of the ADPs, at least in the beginning, it's mostly the same. But yeah, if there's a clock malfunction here, 2 minutes a pick, if anyone is auto drafting, this is going to be a major bummer. All right, and we are through the first round. Pretty chalky first round. After Bijan, it went Gibbs, Puka, Chase, Smith-Njigba, CMC, JT, James Cook, Devon Achane, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, and Ashton Genty. And it looks like the clock issue, it is only a 30-second clock. They just have it counting weird, because it looks like for those who are, on auto draft or whatever, it gets down to about 1:23, and then it resets and the pick happens. So looks like it's still a 30-second clock, but definitely some sort of malfunction. So if by some reason one of DraftKings people is watching this, I'm sure they're already aware of the issue. But just a little glitch there. But pretty even first round. 7 running backs, 5 receivers. That's pretty much what we've been seeing over on Underdog as well. So much of the same in these early rounds. Let's hope a couple good players fall to us here at the 2-3 turn. All right, we are just a couple picks away here. In the second round, it went McBride, Jefferson, Hampton, London, Bowers, Love, Barkley, and then Henry. So looks like we're going to get some receivers to fall to us. Neighbors, Pickens, Collins, Rice, Olave. If Chase Brown is still there, that'd be great. He is a good PPR back. So 3 more picks until us. Let's see what the folks here do. Neighbors, if Chase Brown falls to us, that'd be great. But he goes there at the 210. And then Josh Jacobs in front of us. So we get our pick of the wide receivers in this range. Do we go just Pickens and Collins? Do we grab Rashee Rice? Let's go Pickens and then Rice. Mostly because I want to set up the Dak and Mahomes stacks, just because I think those are good QBs in a range where I like to target. I'm typically tired of the running backs and wide receivers where those quarterbacks go, rounds, 8, 9, 10. So hopefully we're setting up some good stacks for our later rounds. And after Rice, that third round went Collins, K9, Josh Allen, Chris Olave, Breece Hall, T. Higgins, Kyron Williams, A.J. Brown, Bucky Irving, Tet McMillan. As you can see, a couple guys there with no wide receivers through 3 rounds. One went with the triple RB and one has double RB tight end. So very interesting. Only one guy going 3 wide receivers out the gate. So looks like a lot of RB heavy stuff early. as the guy in the 12th slot also went no wide receivers through 3 rounds, grabbing ETN to finish out that 3rd round. No major ADP differences so far. Josh Allen went a little early, but he's kind of been in that mid, early to mid 3rd round. He definitely got pushed up recently, so pretty much the same through 3 rounds. All right, just a couple picks away. 4th round, McConkey, Wilson, Scadaboo, Henderson, Loveland, Flowers, Adams, Devonta Smith, Jameson Williams. We're already to a tough stretch of running backs. We're in that RJ Harvey range already. Probably should grab my RB2 here at the turn as Igbuka goes. And then Watson goes in front of us. So we are down already to the Harvey Judkins range of running backs. Other players available: Lamar, Burden, McLaurin. Let's go ahead and grab Harvey for sure. And I'm not going to grab a naked Lamar just because we have set up Dak and Mr. Mahomes. So let's just go ahead and grab Burden. I like his upside. I don't think Caleb Williams will make it around to us, but, you never know. Sets up a potential Williams stack. I'm sure the Loveland guy will grab him, or the Rome guy. But I like our start through 5, 2 running backs, 3 receivers. The next couple rounds, we'll probably grab QB or 2, definitely maybe a tight end as well. So no major differences as far as ADPs. Running backs are still going early, earlier than I'd like for sure, but nothing too crazy so far through our first 5 picks. After Burden, 5th round went Lamar, Javonte, Judkins, Jalen Waddle, Terry McLaurin, Burrow. Williams goes to the Loveland drafter, Tyler Warren, Carnell Tate, DeAndre Swift. One thing I have noticed is that first trio of rookie wide receivers goes a little bit later in DraftKings compared to Underdog, but not crazy, just like, a half round or so. But QBs and tight ends going a little early in this one. Already 4 tight ends off the board. A little bit early for Warren, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll probably have to make one of our quarterback selections at the next turn. Just based on where the ADPs lie, we'll probably have to reach on one of them. But that's okay. I'm willing to reach on Mahomes or Dak just to kind of get that stack going. Couple picks away here. I went Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, Mekhi Lemon, Michael Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr., and then a run on quarterbacks, Daniels, May, and Hurts. I will say that is very early Parker Washington in my opinion. It's just hard to get him being an early 6th round pick in my head. That just feels way early. Ramondre, DK, and we are up soon. Jordan Tyson kind of falling. At least on DraftKings, I would love for him to be there. And the person before us goes Kraft. So I think we're going to grab Tyson. And then the question is, do we do Fannin to get our tight end and then try to push Dak and Mahomes? Or do we just play it smart? Kind of want to just take Harold Fannin and say, why not? Try to push quarterback a little bit. I know there's been a little run on them, but we're going to try to push quarterback. So we grab Tyson as our wide receiver 4, and then Harold Fannin Jr. as our tight end 1. So hoping one of our 2 quarterbacks makes it back. It's not do or die, just because, I put ourselves in this situation here. Both guys would be after ADP, so we will just see how this turns out. Already 3 guys on auto draft, so hopefully that picks up the pace a little bit, because it feels like the main difference to me is this draft is taking way, way longer than an Underdog draft. I got really accustomed to that 20-second timer, so this 30-second clock is really taking a long time. And the 7th round comes to an end, going Warren, Herbert, Dart, Mike Evans, Marv, Pearsall, Lawrence, Prescott goes, Alec Pierce, Kyle Pitts, Bachel Tootin. So Dak is gone. There's a very slim chance Mahomes makes it to us at the turn, but there is a little bit of hope. Everyone from here to me at least has one quarterback. And then Steelers, man, go ahead and take Mahomes. So not great. We're going to have to see what's available. Definitely a QB heavy draft here. I probably should have done one at the turn, which I knew, but we were risking it for the biscuit, and it didn't quite pan out. So we are going to definitely grab at least one quarterback here, although I'm afraid we're not to a very solid range of quarterbacks. As more are going off the board, we're going to get slim here. We might have to double tap QB. All right, we are next up. A couple of tight ends go, Kincaid, Gadsden. So we are going to see what we have as Laporta goes in front of us. So next QB is Bo Nix, which I don't think is really that bad at all. So let's go ahead and queue up Bo. And then we also need running back help. So we could grab Tony Pollard, could grab Rico Dowdle, or we might need to just double tap QB here. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up Baker Mayfield. It's not my favorite move, but I like to grab Godwin if he makes it around to us. Let's see what Godwin's ADP is actually. It's 117, so our next pick is 120, so there's a slim chance that Godwin makes it to us. But I just needed two viable quarterbacks. You never know, Tyson could get drafted to one of these teams. I did stack up Bo with Harvey, so we got that correlation. Harvey's a solid pass catcher, but definitely shut out there. And now we still only have two running backs, so we are going to have to find some sleepers in the dust in the final rounds of this draft. And that 9th round goes, and sorry if you can hear the rain pouring right now. It is absolutely coming down. But a very early Brandon Ayuk pick. Then DJ Moore, Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle, Wan'Dale Robinson, Tyler Algier, Michael Pittman, Blake Corum, Addison Worthy, Goff, Love, Price, and Shuck going there. So definitely glad we grabbed quarterbacks when we did, because basically after Shuck, it gets decently thin. So glad we have at least two of these guys. But yeah, like I said, we need running back help in a bad way. With that being said, if Chris Godwin makes it around to us, we will grab him to pair up with Baker. After Shuck, it went Kittle, Reed, Jennings, Marks, Shakir, Jalen Coker. We have two more picks until we're up. We're probably going to need to grab a running back for sure. Like I said, Godwin's there. Great. If not, we will have to adjust. JCM and then Dobbins goes. So Godwin for sure. And then out of the running backs here, Montgomery, Gainwell, Jonah Coleman. I think we take a shot on the rookie. So let's go ahead and grab Godwin, and we're gonna go ahead and draft Jonah Coleman, who I think can be, a workhorse from the beginning. I see Tyreek Hill has gone up the rankings since being released from Miami. I think there's a very, very good chance that he ends up back with Kansas City, back with Patrick Mahomes. So I think I've been drafting a lot of Tyreek Hill early, being, a 13th round pick over on Underdog. Looks to be about an 11th round pick here on DraftKings. I think he's still going far too late. If Tyreek Hill can be some semblance of what he was before the injury, he's obviously a steal of a deal. And you got to think, you're drafting him as, wide receiver 4, maybe even wide receiver 5. I've been taking lots of shots on Tyreek Hill, especially over on Underdog, but I still think he's undervalued even here on DraftKings. And after Coleman, it went Kyler, Stroud, Montgomery, Darnold, Tyreek, Kenny Gainwell, Deebo Samuel, Trey Benson, Jake Ferguson, Denzel Boston, Dallas Goedert, Fernando Mendoza, Strange, and then Juwan Johnson paired up with the Shuck very nicely there. We currently have a 2-3-5-1 going, so we can take a look at what tight ends are available. Definitely still need running back help, as we know. Wide receivers are feeling relatively strong with Pickens, Rice, Burden, Tyson, and Godwin. So hopefully we'll be looking running back, tight end, maybe our third QB. But I feel pretty solid with Nix and Mayfield. So maybe we'll push off quarterback to one of the real scrubs later in the draft here. A couple picks away for us: Higgins, James Conner, Tyrone Tracy. A couple of good running backs I think are solid values: Bryce Young, Hunter Henry, Casey Concepcion. A couple picks till we're up as Matthew Golden goes there. So we are to the Malik Willis range at quarterback, which is definitely interesting. Could see myself taking a shot on him as our third. Been grabbing a lot of Travis Hunter, and Rachaad White went before us, so could take a chance on another rookie running back. Let's go ahead and queue up Malik. I think that's a good place to start. And then Sadiq, maybe. I rarely have been drafting Sadiq, but he goes definitely later. Or we could grab Kelsey, who I've been grabbing a lot of. Let's just go ahead and grab Travis Kelsey. Been drafting quite a bit of him. I definitely think he's going to come back. I think that, Tyreek might sign and they might get the band back together. So we got Fannin, so we feel pretty good at tight end. Now Kelsey, who of course, if he plays, should be a top 8, top 10 tight end as a floor. So 3-3-5-2, definitely need running back help, but we got our quarterback situation solidified. We'll see where Malik Willis ends up. Does he re-sign with Green Bay? If so, obviously a bad pick. But if he goes to Miami, the Jets, even though it's kind of a dumpster fire, but somewhere where he's the starter, Malik Willis can put up fantasy points. So I like where we're at. QB room is definitely some athletic folks there. Nix, Mayfield, and Willis all use their legs. Fannin Jr. and Kelsey at tight end. So feeling pretty good. Now we just need to load up on some running backs and wide receivers. In that 13th round, after Kelsey went Spears, DK, Sadiq, Kamara, Emmett Johnson, Dubs, Charbonnet, Rashid Shaheed, Cam Ward, Jordan Mason, and Travis Hunter, who I know reports came out he's going to play more defensive back, but I still think Travis Hunter, talent alone, is, a fun player to take a shot on. But as polar opposite as Kayshon Boutte. Kayshon Boutte, not an extremely talented guy, doesn't really get you excited to draft him. Travis Hunter, on the flip side, is very exciting to draft. So glad we grabbed Willis, just because after Ward and Daniel Jones, quarterback gets pretty thin there. And you want 3 viable options with bye weeks, injuries, all that. Definitely want some options at quarterback. After Daniel Jones, Aaron Jones, Braylon Allen, Josh Downs, McMillan, Bryant, Mark Andrews, who is a pretty good value in my opinion, Jerry Jeudy, and JJ McCarthy. Like I said, QB thins up pretty damn fast. 1 pick until we're up. We need some running back help. And unfortunately, Jonathan Brooks, who I really like, went right in front of us. Lots of tight ends available here. Let's see what we got for running backs. I think I'm going to go Sean Tucker. Just, more Tampa Bay options. And then we could grab Joe Mixon, hope he plays. But I grab Dylan Sampson a fair bit in this range, just because the Quinshon Judkins injury was, definitely a little bit gruesome. There's a good chance Judkins is ready for the beginning of the season, but I think Dylan Sampson, has a good shot to have a passing down role, which is definitely valuable in PPR. So far we have Bo Nix, Bijan Robinson, RJ Harvey, Pickens, Rashee Rice, Burden, Harold Fannin Jr., Jordan Tyson, Mayfield, Godwin, Jonah Coleman, Malik Willis, Travis Kelsey, Sean Tucker, and Dylan Sampson. We've caught up a little bit at running back, so we now have a 3-5-5-2. So I believe running back and wide receiver, we'll grab one more tight end just so we, same deal with the quarterbacks. You kind of want having available bodies. So we'll grab another tight end, but definitely later. So now we can kind of get back to drafting some wide receivers, see if there's any guys that pair up well with our quarterbacks, or just grab guys that I think are good values, maybe some rookies we can take shots on, something of that nature. In that 15th round went Keon Coleman, Theo Johnson, Tank Dell, Schultz, Barner, and Njoku. A little run on tight ends there. Troy Franklin, Devin Neal, Ayumanor, Surratt, and Likely. So definitely, a run on tight ends, people grabbing their second or third. In this case, a couple guys grabbing their first. So definitely interesting. I actually like a decent chunk of those guys. I think Schultz and Njoku are solid veterans if you're, going for higher upside or maybe taking shots on rookies late. I think those veterans add a good presence to your tight end room. And one thing I will say, I know I said this earlier, but these drafts feel like they take forever. If you're used to that 20-second underdog clock, these 30 seconds, they take a long time. And it feels like people are really taking their time with these picks. A lot of people are running that clock down. But we need to go see which running back and or wide receiver we are going to grab. We have one pick in front of us. I think Marvin Mims is probably a logical choice, considering we need a wide receiver and considering we have Bo Nix. Obviously McMillan went, so I don't think there's any really viable Buccaneers. So let's go ahead and grab Marvin Mims for sure. And then question becomes, do we want to take a chance on a running back here or a wide receiver? Brian Robinson's a little bit interesting. Tank Bigsby, Brashard Smith if we want to continue doing our Kansas City thing. But let's just go ahead and grab Omar Cooper. Give us a little youthfulness in our receiver room. I know we have Tyson as well, but that puts us in a good place for wide receiver. I think with our final 3 picks, we'll go 2 running backs and a tight end. Kind of have a nice even 7-7-3 going, just because I think our wide receivers are probably the strong suit of our team. So I definitely want to have as many shots on goal at running back as we can get. So we'll grab a couple late guys. If Brashard makes it around to us, that would be great. Kind of continue our Kansas City thing. Even though we didn't get Patrick Mahomes, I think that is a fine, safe bet. Just looking at some of the team's builds, this guy in the 11 slot has 11 wide receivers, and his lone quarterback, Daniel Jones, is unlikely to start the season. So unless he grabs a quarterback in the final 2 rounds, which I don't even know if there's any starting quarterbacks left, he's going to be taking zeros at quarterback until Jones is back. Yet he has 11 wide receiver scores to choose from on a given week. So definitely an interesting strategy. I think he was a guy on auto draft earlier and then came back. So I don't know if he's just completely trolling. But definitely an interesting strategy. I wouldn't suggest that. You're going to feel pretty thin at every other position if you grab 11 wide receivers. Unless you grabbed them rounds 10 through 20 and you just loaded up on the other positions at the beginning. But again, I do not advise that strategy. Definitely an interesting one. We are 4 picks away, down to the Brissett Penix range as far as quarterbacks. Running back is pretty thin, although it looks like Brashard Smith might still be there. We have 2 more picks. And then we'll have to see what's available at tight end. I can't imagine it's very exciting either. All right, Chris Rodriguez goes. Let's go ahead and see. We have 1 more pick. We could just grab someone boring like Freiermuth. Or I think we take a chance on Eli Stowers, rookie tight ends, to go with our Harold Fannin and Travis Kelce. I like that. I don't have a ton of Eli Stowers either. So we are 3, 6, 7, 3 through 19 picks. We're going to finish off with a dart throw at running back. And I feel like this is a solid team. Certainly not my best or favorite. Definitely boxed ourselves out at quarterback by not taking Prescott or Mahomes at that 6-7 turn. But that is A-okay. Still like how the team turned out. I think running back's probably our weakest spot. But hey, you're going to be weak somewhere. That is just the nature of drafting these best ball teams. So we'll let it get around to us. Finish off with our running back. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're liking this content. Comment down below your comparison between DK and Underdog. What is easier to draft with, These 30-second clocks are kind of killer over on DraftKings. I wish they would drop it down to 20 seconds, but that's neither here nor there. Smash the like button on this video. Really do appreciate you guys. We got one pick to go. Stick around to see who it is. As the guy in the 11 slot tries to save his team with a Ty Simpson, Aaron Rodgers finish. I don't know how that's going to go. A rare Will Howard sighting out of Steelers Man 397. Funny that Howard gets drafted before Aaron Rodgers, who is expected to sign back with Pittsburgh. Although you never know, he could retire. He's done some unpredictable things before. So interesting to see that 11 guy finish with a 3-4-11-2. Let's see who his best running back is. DeAndre Swift is his best running back. So his wide receivers are Amon-Ra, Jefferson, McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Xavier Worthy, Denzel Boston, Elijah Surratt, Isaac Tesla, and Cooper Kupp. What an incredible, choice. 11 wide receivers. I think that's the most I've seen of one position in one of these things. But we are 6 picks away from grabbing our final running back. All right, and we are 1 pick away. Let's head on over to the players, see what running backs are available to us. Kareem Hunt, Mike Washington, Estime. Let's see. Black, Adam Randall. We could take Davis Maddox, favorite late round guy. Probably just take one of these rookies, either Randall or Mike Washington. And we are on the clock. Let's go ahead and grab Adam Randall. And our final squad: Bijan, Pickens, Rashee Rice, RJ Harvey, Burden, Tyson, Fannin, Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Jonah Coleman, Malik Willis, Kelsey, Sean Tucker, Dylan Sampson, Marvin Mims, Omar Cooper, Rashard Smith, Eli Stowers, and Adam Randall. Drop down your rating of that team down in the comments. Smash that subscribe button. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.